All right, hello everyone. Sorry about the delay. A little bit longer of a wait time before getting the stream started, but yeah, we're going to be working on more Gunforged today, so grab your coffee if it's in the morning. I suppose afternoon coffee would be all right too. And yeah, what we're going to be doing today is just doing a bunch of playtesting and tweaking. I think this stream is going to be a little bit sort of haphazard. I don't really have a direct goal to use here or to accomplish here. But I'm just going to be playing the game and kind of fixing things as I see them. I've already got a couple of things in mind that I want to fix. Last night, what I did is I did some rebalancing in terms of how the gun parts work. So previously, the gun part resources, or the receivers rather, so these receivers like this one. Oh, sorry, 1 second. All right, forgot to close my window. We don't need any of that background noise. So this bone receiver, for instance, it used to be the case that this had the damage and the fire rate attached to it. So in here, this damage and there used to be a fire rate. So I moved the fire rate base value to the magazine instead. So the magazine now determines how many bullets per second you shoot, but then the receivers have a multiplier to the bullets per second. So as you're mixing and matching receivers and magazines, you'll be able to find like really good combos in terms of like this magazine with this receiver gives you a huge fire rate. But also it makes the itemization a little bit more interesting because the problem that I was trying to solve is that, for instance, there were some receivers that were just really powerful because the DPS is calculated based on the fire rate and the base damage. And if both of those stats exist on the same item, like a receiver, then the receiver is basically going to be the only thing that determines your DPS, right? So splitting up the stats a little bit in terms of DPS between multiple parts just unlocks a lot more variety and a lot more pressure on the player to constantly swap out their parts. But that came with a lot of changes to the balancing and the pacing of the game, so I'm just trying to adjust things to get back to kind of where the game was before. So that's the current state of the game, and that's what we'll be working on. So good morning, Dev Ghost. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you again. All right, so before we get into it, be sure to check out the links in the description below. Got a number of Godot courses on Udemy that you can pick up. The most recent one being the C# course for Godot. So links for that are in the description. Of course, you can wishlist Gunforged and all that good stuff. Everything that you can do to support me is in the description. So please check those out. And yeah, let's get into it. So I want to rebalance some of these upgrade tree items. And I also have actually one thing that I wanted to do really quick, or it might not be quick, but this assembled gun ingot here. This assembled gun rect is sort of like what the gun looks like, and it's just floating up here and it kind of blocks a lot of the stats. So I want to figure out a better place to put this. And I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go. I think the custom minimum size is being changed in this assembled gun rect. Yeah, custom minimum size. And that's calculating it. So I think it's just as simple as adding this to some kind of flow here. So this content container, we've got this margin container here. I wonder if I can just put it in here, like so. And I might need to create another VBox container. To hold this assembled gun rect and the margin container here. So let's go ahead and add a VBox container there. Okay, And then this. We need to turn the mouse to ignore. And then we need to change the layout container sizing to fill and expand. So we're basically back to where we were. And honestly, I'm not even sure that this... Yeah, maybe we didn't even need to do that. Oops. There we go. So we'll see how that works. I think the easiest way to do that is to go into the Gunforged UI and just run it here. Might need to have some kind of panel for that. I mean, that immediately already clarifies things, but it's a little bit awkward just kind of floating there. So ideally, I would like to find a way to add some kind of shadow to that, but it's a little bit tricky. One thing I could potentially do... No, never mind. I was going to say I could add it to the banner, but I don't think that's going to be a good idea either, to be honest. Let's see, hold on a second. Messing with my panels here. All right. So I think that looks better. Is there a way that I can make it look even better than that, though? I wonder if doing something just as simple as adding another panel there is going to make that look even better. So assembled gun rect here. Let's go ahead and add a panel container. Put that underneath that. And then this panel container. Let's turn the mouse to ignore. Theme, type variation. Dark panel container. And we could probably make this container sizing. Let's make it shrink center. Yeah. Let's see what that does. Okay. That looks better for sure. I think I just need to add a little bit of padding now. There we go. Probably not so much padding on the bottom. Yeah, I wonder if I can get away with doing no padding on the bottom here. Or maybe just like 2, balance it out a little bit. Yeah, I think that looks fine. All right, cool. There's one other thing I want to fix in this Gunforged UI, and that is when I equip a part, it's not updating the... It's not updating the preview. So in equip gun part here, button get index, okay. So I guess it's just not refreshing the gun in here. Refresh, I think I just need to call refresh gun preview after equip gun part is called. Yeah, so I think I can just go refresh gun previews. Let's see if that works. So as soon as I can select this, for instance, that changes the stats over here, and then if I shift right click, okay, perfect. The other thing I want to do is I want to be able to unpreview this by deselecting it. So on inventory slot, let's see, where is that going to be? On inventory slot, mouse exited. On in grid slot, secondary pressed. On gun part, button pressed. Here we go. So we're going to say if button dot has focus, then what we can do is we can say selected part index is equal to -1. Else, we'll do that. And that should allow me to toggle the preview now. So if I want to deselect, I can click on an item in here. Oop, that didn't work, did it? Right, so I think this button must already have the focus when I click it. So let's go to the gun part inventory button. Oops. Oops, wrong key. Button, let's see, pressed, dot pressed. So I don't have a pressed signal. Oh, because it's just, yeah. It's just extending the button. So it's connecting directly to that press signal of the texture button, so that's a problem because it already has the focus. I guess I don't really need to do that, right? I don't need to check the focus. I can just say var button index is equal to button get index. And then we'll just say if button index is equal to selected part index. That ought to do it. So let's go ahead and give that a shot now. Hello, Carlos. What theme do you use in VS Code? I use Dracula. It's a new theme for me. So now I can deselect the part. And I also want to do this. Button dot release focus. There we go. That should clear things up quite a bit in this UI. You're welcome, Carlos. Welcome to the stream. Sweet. So that's working, and then as soon as I equip something, it should automatically deselect everything. Cool. That was annoying me as well. All right, so we've got these things now all good to go. I think, yeah, there's a lot of empty space on either side of this, and I'm not entirely sure what to do about that. I think I'm kind of tempted to... I don't know. I was going to say I'm kind of tempted to remove all these labels here so I could have a more compact sort of display and then add a tooltip that you can hover over each of these things to figure out what they do, but I feel like the icons aren't good enough to fully convey what each stat is doing, and so you'd be just constantly mousing over everything. Also, these aren't aligned. That's kind of annoying, isn't it? Or are they aligned? No. So there's some work to do here as well. I wonder if I can just change that stat label. Is there a reason why all of those icons are not a proper size? Custom minimum size. Make it 12 pixels. Hey, there we go. Everything's aligned now. Look at that. Now the label here, though. Why are the icons all different sizes? That's odd. Stats, icon, damage. So stats. So we've got icon, that's 8 by 9, 10 by 10, 9 by 10, 10 by 10, 9 by 10. Interesting. Let's show that in File Manager, what's going on here. Icon mockup. Oh, goodness. That's an old screen right there. I don't even know. Wow, I forgot about all this. That's very old. That's very old indeed. So why are these icons all different sizes? That's odd. Okay, so, but I know that none of them exceed 10 in the width. So I think I can just go to my stat label here, change this to 10 by 10. And then this description label, let's make the vertical alignment center. And let's see what that does. Maybe you combine the runes and the gun in one row. There's not enough space for that. Let him cook. Hello, Luan. I agree, just the icons aren't enough to understand in my opinion. Maybe after some playtime, still don't feel right to expect the player to memorize it. Yeah, I think that's... the UI in this game has been a constant challenge because there's a lot of information that I need to give the player. And it's very hard to do that with the limited canvas size that I have. You know, like this whole screen is 640 by 360. And so like even just getting like this UI in place was extremely difficult. So that's been the problem. I just don't have enough space for a lot of things. But I think it's coming along. I think all that's going to be needed now is just kind of like minor iterations on what I've got. And I think it'll be fine. I don't think the strike through is necessary either. That strike through is kind of odd, so I wonder if I can change that. Affix label. Is it doing like a strike through? Set disabled. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't think we need a strike through for that anymore. So this can actually just be that. Because it's got a minus icon and it's turning red. So I think that the strike through just doesn't match thematically because it's like semi-transparent and it's not very noticeable. So let's go ahead and just change that. See what this looks like. Okay. So now if I go ahead and add one, yeah, that looks much cleaner to me. So there's no strike through anymore. I don't even know if you could see the strike through that easily on the stream anyway. Now there's something that has always annoyed me, which is that there's a little bit of flicker when switching this, and I don't know how to resolve that. I think I tried to debug it one time and I couldn't figure it out. But I think that's enough like messing around with the UI. My primary concern was to get this gun preview off of the stat because it was just kind of weirdly overlapping it. And so now that it has its own dedicated section within that gun ingot, I guess you could say, I think that just looks better. And I can read the stats more easily. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and commit that stuff that I've got there. I don't know why these shaders are changing. That's odd. Okay, never mind. All right, so let's just say minor UI tweaks. So let's sync those changes. All right, let's do some playtesting. Actually, let's see. Do I have anything else to add? Do I have anything else to add? I don't think so. Let's do this, though. I do have some balance tweaks that I want to make here. So nerf Blood Brothers spawn rate. So let's go find that. Blood Golem passive. Spawn Golem. So we're going to change this. We're basically going to, on entity died here, we're checking if the status, if there's a bleed status. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a check in here as well. If matthewtil.rng.randf is less than 0.25, or let's do greater than 0.25, we'll just return. So we'll give it a 25% chance of spawning. And then we got to update the description here. So let's do 25% chance to summon a blood golem when a bleeding enemy dies. Blood golems explode, dealing 25% DPS of your weakest gun. Now, since we're nerfing the the spawn rate of these things, we could probably up the DPS to 50%. So I'll just go ahead and do that. And then I need to go into the blood golem itself. So this damage here times 0.25, let's do 0.5. I should really be using constants for these things, but you know what they say in the immortal language of YOLO. And then let's change the Berserk passive as well. So wherever that Berserk passive, what is that called? It's called missing health damage. Deal % increased damage. So let's do let's just bump it up really a lot to 75%. One of the useful things that I've learned that I'm trying to apply is that when you're trying to make a meaningful balance change, just go go wild with it. You know, you don't want to make like just increase it by 10%, right? You want to make it like a noticeable change when you're doing a balance change, and then see how that feels. And it may be overpowered, or it may like change the game just enough where it's like, yeah, it's powerful, but you know, it's not concerningly powerful, you know? So you get a better feel for that if you just make drastic changes instead of really tiny changes. So we'll do 75%, and then let's go ahead and open that up. Oops. Missing health damage passive. This in here now needs to be 75. Okay, so we've changed a couple of passives here. All right, let's go and play test it now. Good morning, Wibbly. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Alrighty, let's just make sure. Yeah, I don't have any upgrades unlocked, so actually, you know what? Yeah, let's play through the game here. Let's see how much gold I end with, and then we'll make adjustments based on adjustments to the upgrade costs based on how I do. Because I made some tweaks yesterday to the gold drop rate because there was way too much gold being dropped. And so I kind of need to get a feel for how much gold a player is going to collect from an average run so that I can use that to balance the costs of the upgrade tree. 25% chance to summon a blood column. Oh, wait. That text is wrong. I'll just save. That had an extra space in there. Okay. 25%. I might as well grab that to see what how that feels. This one adds a bunch of rune slots. Let's go to the right gun there. Perfect. This one increases spread by quite a bit, but it also gives me an extra rune slot. Bullets deal up to 100% extra damage when on low ammo. Let's just put that one over there just for fun. And this one has a lower fire rate, but an increased DPS. So let's put that there. All right. Oh, that's a very low fire rate, and the spread is ridiculous. Oh my. Okay, well. Whatever. We're going with it. Oh my gosh. It's like impossible to aim. But such is the life of randomly generated components. That's why there's a training dummy that spawns in between the waves as well, so that you can test out your build before going into the next wave, because things like this could happen where you actually kind of create a useless gun, even though it's powerful on paper. It's just hard to hit enemies. Okay, that's going to screw everything up because I don't think I'm going to have elite enemies in the game. Okay, so tag your it, clear nearby bullets on dash. Let's do the 4 reel. I kind of like that one for CC purposes. This one... Okay, I'm going to try the gun scrambler here on the left gun. Let's see what happens. It did not create a better gun. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to go for the DPS. So we got a banana magazine with a crystal receiver and a sniper barrel. Okay. That's just a ridiculous looking gun. Look at that. That's just ridiculous. I'm going to start your C# course today. I have a small project I started with multiplayer already. Do you think the conversion to C# would be simple, or should I remake from scratch based on your course? So you want to create... So you want to take a project that you started in GDScript multiplayer, and then you want to convert it to C#. I think... Yeah, as long as you're basically just using Godot APIs for your scripting and you're not doing anything super fancy, I think that the translation from GDScript to C# should be pretty straightforward. I'm pretty sure all the RPC like annotations and attributes are present in C#, so yeah, I don't see a reason why you would have any difficulty with a small project converting it all over. So it should be fine, but I would just encourage you to do whatever you're comfortable with. If you start the C# course and you're really liking C#, then yeah, you should take that as a sign that maybe you should do your personal project with C# as well. Your game looks so nice. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's go forward. So yeah, as always, if anyone's watching me play this and you notice something that looks odd, please bring it to my attention in the chat. Any balance feedback or anything, really. Always open to hear your suggestions. Ooh, we got a heart sacrifice. I might do that. Thunderstorm. Ooh, we got to take the imaginary friend. You know we got to take the imaginary friend. This is a big DPS increase for the first gun, so we'll put it there. Let's throw on that. I don't really like the oil. I need to find a way to make oil more, or to make oil stronger. And I think the way that I'm going to do that is by just adding more passives and stuff that interact with oil, and maybe make them particularly strong. So that way you're more tempted to choose oil. Because right now, I mean, oil slows enemies, but Wait, why am I getting another imaginary friend here? That's not right. That's not right. Let's check the logs. So it's saying it removed the phantom gun. Is that heart sacrifice shrine not... Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. So there's a script here that I refactored a little bit, and I forgot to remove something, but also we need to look at that heart sacrifice and figure out why that's choosing a passive that's invalid. Oh, I know why. I know why that happened. It picked... Oh, this is gonna be... Oh man, this is terrible. Okay, so what's happening is that this heart sacrifice is picking the passive choices. It's picking the passive choices after... So it's picking the passive choices as soon as it gets added to the tree, but so is the gun table here, this table, which also offers you passives. And so what happened is that both the heart sacrifice and the table ended up picking the phantom gun passive, but after I picked the phantom gun passive here, this passive selection is still in place. So the problem is that it's basically picking the passives. Both of these tables, both of these interactable things are picking passives, and then there's a potential for conflict because if I pick a passive from one, it could be that it doesn't stack, that passive doesn't stack, and so it'll be invalidly presented in the other one as well. And I do not know how to fix that. I mean, I know how to fix it, but I don't know how to fix it in a way that's not going to be utterly atrocious. So the heart sacrifice, I basically need to re-pick the player passive resources after a player passive gets added. So what I might need to do, oh man. The reason I'm picking them up front is because I need to store the passives that were picked. So that way if I do like, if I go to the table and I view it, and I exit, and I do some other stuff, and then I come back, we need the same options to be presented. Otherwise, you could just keep doing this until you get the ones you want, right? So, but this player passive resources needs to be updated if the table manager changes. So I think maybe that answers my question. Maybe I should have a signal in here that tells me when the table is updated. Although there is this on-player passive added here that I could listen to as well. But the problem is that, oh man, that's going to be a problem too, because what I could do then is I could, if I regenerate the things that are being picked, I could do this, but then I could say, I don't like those choices, right? So then I could go over here and I could choose a passive and then go back and I'd have different choices. Oh man, that's a tricky one. That's a very tricky one. Hello, Vrabo. Welcome back. Good to see you. I imagine you already answered it before, but I'm curious to know, why did you decide on going with C#? Was it a transition thing from Unity to Godot? Nope, it was, I never used Unity really. C# is basically just, it has the structure that I want, the typing system, and the ability to do abstract classes, interfaces, that kind of thing. So it's really just a personal preference thing why I chose it. I feel like you can add or apply software design patterns much easier in C# than GDScript. But I made that decision before GDScript had typing even. So honestly, I'm probably going to use GDScript for my next game after Gunforged, but we'll see. Let me add this as a bug. So let's see. Picking a passive from the upgrade table can potentially... Picking a passive with that meets max stacks and gets removed from passive loot table can potentially leave that passive option in a heart sacrifice. I don't know if that's clear enough, but hopefully I understand what I'm saying there. I don't know how to solve this. I don't know what the best way to do it. I mean, I guess I could... I could go really fancy with it and I could say, okay, I could get a reference to the table manager. I could say, okay, is this passive item in the table? Filter loot table items. GDScript being in the editor seems pretty cool, honestly. Yeah, I agree. I think the there are some features that are missing though that would be nice to have. I can't remember exactly what my problem was with it, but it's fine. Yeah, it's fine to use. It's not as feature rich as like a dedicated editor, like a IDE though, obviously. Do I want to solve this problem now? I probably should. That's such a subtle issue. Okay, let's see if we can write a solution for this just real quick. Removed passive IDs. Is it going to want me to make this a read-only? So in here, removed passive IDs.add passive resource.id. Okay. Public bool is passive removed. String passive ID. Return removed passive IDs dot contains passive ID. So what we'd have to do is something like in here, we probably want to listen directly onto the table manager here. Let's do a signal. Oops. Signal public delegate void. Passive removed event handler. String passive ID. Okay, let's do that in here. Emit signal name dot passive removed, and then we're going to do passive resource dot ID. Okay, so now in my heart sacrifice, what I'm going to do is, I wish there was a better way that I could just wrap this all into a single call and just have it auto update, but I don't think that's going to be feasible. So what I'm going to have to do is table manager dot passive removed dot, or no, I have to do dot connect player passive table manager dot signal name dot passive removed callable dot from on passive removed on player passive removed. Private void on player passive removed. I'm going to have to do the same for... Shoot, I'm going to have to do the same for the well too. Oh my gosh, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. Table manager equals this dot get player passive table manager. We'll say string if player passive resources dot any. Actually, let's do this. Var removed passive index is equal to player passive resources dot find or index. How do I get the index? I could have sworn that there was a way to do like find index. Yeah, here. Is that not a link method? That might not be a link method, I guess. So to list, find index, x.id is equal to passive ID. If removed passive index is less than 0, we'll just go ahead and return. Otherwise, what we're going to need to do is we need to say player passive resources removed passive index is equal to table manager dot pick passives 1 dot first. So that should just replace the passive that got removed. And then I can say, no, that's fine. Yeah. So that's just going to update that. Now what I need to do is, oh, I need to update the passive screen to, oh, wait, no, I don't. No, I don't, because that just gets updated when I interact with it. So as long as I'm updating this data here, that should work. And then we'll just do if table manager is equal to null, we'll return out of that. Maybe it's harder to find stuff compared with VS Code. Yeah, I think so. VS Code is a very nice like find all kind of feature. Harder to jump between scripts in a huge project. I agree. I think that the whole script thing here is a little bit awkward because like you'll have scripts that are open in this side panel here and like they just stay open and it's just, I don't know. I think that it's a little bit It's a little bit awkward changing between these tabs here and then having all of this stuff. But doesn't bother a whole lot of people, I guess. One side, it's cool to have everything integrates into Godot. In the other, as software engineer, I missed some stuff from my VS Code setup. Yeah. Yep, indeed. Good morning, Fox Shadow. Welcome, welcome. Oh, those emojis are huge. I should update the CSS for that. Hello, Samurai. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. So I think that's going to fix that issue there. I don't really have a good way of testing it, but... So that's just being replaced. Now I got to do the same thing now for the upgrade table. So upgrade table. I need to make sure to test that as well. Set passive resources. So this is being called in the Wave Rewards Manager. How am I going to do this in here? Register upgrade table. So when that register upgrade table is called, it picks those three passives, but this needs to be updated when... It needs to be updated when one of the passives is removed. On passive reroll requested upgrade table. Oh, I could do something really, 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 really hacky here. Maybe I can do... Sorry, I'm just thinking. Or they're not big enough. What is that in reference to? I think I lost the context of what that what that refers to. Register upgrade table. So I need to somehow get detect if a passive is removed from the loot table, the passive loot table. And if it is, I need to reset the one passive that needs to be replaced. And I don't know how to do that exactly. This needs to be... Register upgrade table is called here. maybe I should... Let's do this. Let's do this. Signal, public, delegate, void, passives, passive list, picked, event handler, something like that. And we'll go ahead and pass a... Can I pass a plain array? I don't think I can. I don't think passing a plain array through a signal is going to work. But we'll try it. So in the ready method here, this dot get wave rewards manager dot connect wave rewards manager dot signal name that passive list picked callable dot from on passive list picked. So we'll call set passive resources there. I'm probably going to have to use some kind of wrapper for that. Okay, but now the benefit of doing that is that I can do this. I can listen for now wait a minute. That's not going to work either. Oh my gosh. Because this wave rewards manager is not keeping track of the current passives that are pickable. Okay, this is getting way out of hand here. Is there a reason any of this needs to happen in here? I don't think so. Let's get rid of that. Register upgrade table. Let's just go to the upgrade table here. And yeah, I'm going to undo all this. I'm sorry. Goodbye. This should be get player passive table manager. Player passive table manager dot passive removed string string passive ID on passive removed. All right. Did I break something? Why is this not working? Oh, did I remove the wrong thing? Oops. Let's just assign this right here. Okay, so that's going to get that. Yeah, that's fine. It's getting a little bit messy, but you know, that's how it goes. Put this back. I think I deleted the wrong thing here. Okay, and then my wave rewards manager, where's this? I wanted to delete this. Okay, so on passive removed, now what I can do in here is basically copy what I did for the heart sacrifice here. Let's just go ahead and grab all these things. Okay. We're going to remove, yeah, player passive resources, find index, and then reassign it. Now I have to figure out a good way of making this testable so I can verify that it works. So yeah, but the Wave Rewards Manager now is not responsible for assigning the passives to the table, which is a little bit not what I wanted, but you know what? It's the easiest way to get this to work, so what are you gonna do? So let's figure out a good way to test this then. It's cool to see some C# coding, even though I found what I was looking for on C++. Nice, yeah. It's a little bit different. All right, so what am I doing? I need to test this. So I think the easiest way to do this is to go to my player passive table manager here. Pick and add passive. So pick passives. Let's do this. If not removed passive IDs dot contains phantom gun result 0 is equal to player passive resource dot from ID phantom gun. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we'll go to our random encounter handler. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stage all of these things first, so that way any changes that I make for the purposes of testing can be easily undone. So we're going to always add the phantom gun passive to the first result, but only if it hasn't been removed. And so that means that when I finish the first wave, and then I'm going to change this random encounter handler component so that the heart sacrifice is always picked. And that means that after the first wave is completed, I should have a phantom gun option in both, but as soon as I pick one, it should be removed as an option from the other one. Let's see if that happens. And if it doesn't happen, I am going to fix it. All right. Unfortunately, we had to end our other run. I suppose I could have kept going on the other run, but I didn't want to lose my debugging that I had in mind. So let's see what happens. Okay, there's the phantom gun there. And then there's the phantom gun there. So now let's choose this one here. Boom. And now if I go back here, nice. Oh, I've got two. No. Oh man. Just more problems. So now it's picking a passive that already exists. So I have two redundant options. Oh, goodness. That is unfortunate. I don't know what I should do about that, because I don't want to regenerate the entire list of passives. So I don't know what I should do about that. I could always make that screen just, I could just remove that option and just give 3 options instead of repicking an option. So there's imaginary friend for real and quickness. I think this is hard-coded to basically have 3 options, but I could always make it just remove the option. Because I think I can just hide that. Yeah. Maybe that's the better way to do it. Let's do this. For each var child in selector container dot get child passive, or get children, I guess. Let's just do this. We're going to say child.visible is equal to false. But then when we iterate over the passives, we're going to say inget selector.visible equals true. So we're going to revisibilize that. And that should make this... I actually don't think this is broadly coded to hard-coded to only support 3. I think I can support less than 3. So when I call set passes with a passive list that is less than 3, it's going to hide all the children, and then it's going to iterate over each of the passives, show the first 2 children, for instance, and then it will connect to everything. Okay, so I think that's fine. And then we have to go to the heart sacrifice now. Instead of repicking something, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to var player passive list is equal to player passive resources dot to list. Player passive list dot find index. Player passive list dot remove. Cannot use local, what? What? Cannot use local before it's declared. Okay. Player passive list dot remove at removed passive index. And then we'll say player passive resources is equal to player passive list dot to array. So it's just going to straight up remove it. And then I'm going to copy and paste this over into my upgrade table as well. This is just going to be, so very rarely what will happen instead is you'll just be presented with 2 options instead of 3. So let's see if that works. It's a one-time perk. I had an issue that way where it resolved if max QT perk, it will be removed. Yeah. Yep, that's exactly how mine's working. It's just that if you pick, as I was doing, if you pick a list of passives at the same time in 2 different cases, and then the player goes and chooses one such that it gets removed because it hits the max amount of stacks, the list of passives will still be present in the other one, and that list could still contain one of the passives that was removed due to having a max amount of stacks, if that makes sense. So now if I select imaginary friend, it should just be removed from this screen here. Oh, that didn't work at all. That did not work at all. Why did that not work at all? I think I probably have some... Player passive resources. Set passives. Child.visible equals false. It's going to iterate over passives.count. Bring all that stuff up. Okay, I think it's time to debug this. But first, let's go ahead and random, or no, not, what am I doing? I want to open up the hub arena, and I want to put this to, oh no, not the hub, dungeon arena. And I want to make these debug mode enabled, restart. We'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. Boom. Oh wait, I didn't run this through the debugger, did I? It's still doing the impact 3 times. Why is that happening? That shouldn't be happening at all. That shouldn't be happening at all. So in the heart sacrifice, on interacted, passive screen. So instantiating that passive selection screen, it's setting the passives here. Player passive resource. So let's put a breakpoint there. I am not seeing where this is producing an error. Well, I was not expecting to get sidetracked on the stream doing this stuff, but hey, it needs to be fixed, right? So let's go. Hopefully I'll have this issue addressed soon and we can go back to playtesting, which was the goal of this stream. Oops. Okay, moment of truth here. Right, okay, so that's correct. So if we step into that, passive's coming in, 0, 1, okay. Okay. I've got 2 passives. Oh, that's why. The play in is not accounting for that. Okay. So let's go ahead and just fix this then. This play in here. this for var I equals 0. I is less than player passive resources. Oh, interesting. I should probably store this, huh? Okay, so we'll just store that in there. And then in here, player passive resources dot count. And then in here, var child is equal to selector container dot get child as passive ingot selector I. Okay, all right, okay, all right. So I think that's fine. Phew. All right, let's give it a whirl again. Gotta fix these minor issues. Don't want people getting 2 phantom guns. That would be ridiculous. All right, so we've got... Oh, that didn't work at all. What the heck? Why is this so unbelievably... It's calling play in here. Why is it calling play in before it's set to passives? Okay, so it's just an order of operations issue. Passives are being called after add child, which means that the things in the ready method are happening first, and no options are being shown. And yet there's still 3 things here. So I think what I need to do is I need to just defer that play in call. Wait, which table am I at? Yeah. Wait a minute. Right, yeah, this player... Okay, yeah. So because set passives can be called after adding child, what I need to do in here is I need to call this play in a deferred fashion. So callable dot from play in dot call deferred. That should fix that issue. Goodness. Amazing how such a simple thing can just ripple throughout the system. All right, so we've got our imaginary friend. We've got that, okay. So if I select imaginary friend here, bam. Okay, perfect. So I've only got my 2 options here. So now let's try it the other way around, where I select the imaginary friend from the, first, the heart sacrifice. Okay, so heart sacrifice. Let's take imaginary friend there. And that should be removed from here now. Yeah, nice. All right, So I think that's working. I think, yeah, what I need to do now is I need to just undo those things that I put in place specifically for testing. That's fine. That's fine. This needs to be removed. Okay, fix passive selection can overlap. That's not a very specific message, but we'll just go ahead and commit that, and then we'll move this bug over to done. All right, now we're going to go back into playtesting. I have to first disable debug mode here. Okay, I need to take just a quick 2-minute break like I usually do. But in the meantime, while I'm on that little break, you can check out the links in the description below. Pick up one of my Udemy courses if you'd like to financially support me and or learn how to make a game in Godot. You can also like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of that good stuff. All of that is helpful. So I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break, and when I come back, we will resume playtesting Gunforged. All right, I'll be back in a couple minutes. All right, I'm back. How was everyone's break? Let's go ahead and resume the testing. All right. See if I can actually get through a run without noticing a bug that needs to be corrected. All right. Sweet. Be the fuse. Zap, enhanced combustion. I like the zap a lot. All right, what do we got here? Got an extra rune slot, so let's go ahead and add that to the right gun. This one is a DPS increase, capacity decrease, but that's fine. Nice. Ooh, those are slow bullets. Okay. Onward. Those are so slow. All right. Enhanced combustion. Ooh, let's do blazing trails. That sounds good to me. This is an upgrade for... Oh, but the fire rate. That's fine. Let's put that on. Rune slots from 2 to 4 or 1 to 3. Let's put... Yeah, we need some more rune slots over there. Alright, already got some good guns going. They're not... I guess they're not ideal, but rune slots are good, so... There's like some kind of effect happening in the top left corner here for some reason. That's so weird. All right, we got a gun scrambler. I'm kind of tempted to use that. Let's scramble that gun. Was that worth? Ooh, I got kept my rune slots. I think the DPS went up. Blood torrent, increased stamina. I like increased stamina. Let's do that one. Ooh, that's a big DPS increase. I'm gonna put it on the left gun. And let's put bleed over here. Okay. Wait, it's still got an upgrade here. DPS increase, but oh, lose a lot of rune slots. Okay, never mind. Let's go. Got the worm magazine. Go worms. Nice. Loot goblin. You know I gotta take the loot goblin. That is pretty good, actually. Let's put that there. That's a DPS increase. Not a very big one, though. So I guess we'll keep that. Let's put the bullet split there. Okay, perfect. Hello, Abo. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. Sorry I'm a bit late. That's all right. No need to apologize. Maybe not bit. I am too late. We'll still be going here for another half hour, 45 minutes or so. So, trying to do some play testing here and get just get some, I guess, insight on how to balance the game. I think it's feeling really good to me. It feels decently challenging, and I don't even have any of the upgrades yet. So, let's do Get Down, Mr. President. I might have to rename that. The name keeps bleeding off the edge. Ooh, that's a big DPS increase, but I lose rune slots. Ooh, that's a big DPS increase without losing rune slots. I think my right gun needs that help the most. Should I go for the big DPS increase, but lose the rune slots? Let's do it. And then the question is, which one do I already have poison. I don't really have a whole lot of poison-related passives either. So I think I'm going to go all in on shock here. And then let's sell both of those poisons. We'll keep the bleed. Yeah, okay, that sounds good to me. Look at those bubbles. Okay. Nice. Yeah, we're doing damn. Oof, almost died. Or lost health anyway. I think the spider centaurs need some kind of wind-up animation, like they should stop for a second before they shoot. My loot goblin grabbed that health for me. There's an elite enemy. He's dead. Nice. Ooh, a wishing well. Berserk. Deal 75% increased damage per 1 missing health. Nice. Ooh, another bodyguard? Yeah, let's do another bodyguard. That's a rune slot increase, but a DPS decrease, but I can extract that rune and hold on to it. I could reforge if I wanted to. Ooh, this is cool. Wait a minute. Yeah, let's put that one on the right gun. Oh, I've got 2 bubble magazines. Nice. I'm bubble machine. You ever feel like 70% of the game is developed within 2 months, and then you spend almost a year building the other 30%? Yeah. Yep, that's definitely the case. Black Cat, do you have advice for me because I'm starting to hate the game I'm currently developing because I used bought assets on my game? So you don't like the game that you're developing because... Is it because the art style is not consistent, or you just don't like the idea of using third-party pre-made assets? Because I think one of the problems with using pre-made assets is that you're going to end up with style inconsistency in a lot of cases. So if you want to elaborate a little bit on why you don't like the game, maybe I can give you some better insights. Ooh, look at that. From 3 to 5 rune slots, or I could go from 1 to 3. Let's go from 1 to 3. Yeah, look at that. Then I can slap these on there. Nice. Let's take that bullet pierce out. Yeah, that's cool. Look at how fast those bubbles are. All right, we got a bubble build, and look at how many followers I got. I got the gun, I got bodyguards, I got the loot goblin. Oh no, I'm gonna die though. Yeah, I think the spider centaurs, I think they're a little bit hard to dodge, but I think I can pretty much solve that by just giving them a little bit of a wind-up time. Oh my gosh. Whew, got the health. Nice, okay. Whew. Bubble build. The idea, because somewhat I have this feeling that I'm a fake developer for using bought assets. I see. Well, I guess I don't know what to say other than you shouldn't feel that way. I know that's not super helpful, but you know, whenever people are building, I mean, the thing is, like, where does that logic end, right? Because it's kind of like a purity logic, you know, because you could take that to its logical conclusion and say, well, I'm a fake dev because I didn't write my own engine, right? Or I'm a fake dev because I didn't record all of my own sound effects. And it's like, that's not very helpful, right? At some point, you're going to be relying on the work of other people to get your game done. And I don't see a reason why why art needs to be an exception, right? Why the visuals and the art needs to be an exception. So I think that that's just maybe just like a mindset problem. There's nothing inherently wrong with using bought assets, either sounds or shaders or models or sprites or whatever. But like I said, what you may be feeling is that maybe there's a stylistic inconsistency in your game, which I'm not sure, but maybe there is. And maybe you're seeing that stylistic inconsistency because you're using all these bought assets and you're recognizing that the style inconsistency is not making the game feel or look good. Because I know that there's a lot of indie developers, especially in like 3D space, who will buy assets like 3D models, but then they'll retexture them, or they'll edit the model a little bit to bring it in line with the rest of their game style. But yeah, I think just generally speaking, as a general rule, I don't think that you should feel wrong about using pre-made assets. I don't think it's a problem at all. So I don't know if that helps, but it's it's your primary focus should be making a game. And yeah, as Brackheck is saying, it's a lot of talent to do everything yourself. And what you should really be focused on is developing the game and executing on the idea, and whatever tools and assets you can use to allow you to develop on that idea or deliver on that idea faster, you should absolutely use that, and you shouldn't feel bad about using it. Now, yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I would say is, kind of relate to the feeling, though. For me, it's using add-ons. Gotcha, yeah. Hello, Lukey. With the recent surge in normal un-roguelike related games turning into roguelikes like Balatro, what do you think of a Connect 4 roguelike? I've been working on one, but IDK if it's interesting enough. My first thought is that a Connect 4 roguelike is that's a very intriguing, pitch. So I think that the pitch itself, if I saw a Steam store page and the description was a Connect 4 roguelike, I would be immediately intrigued. But the big question comes in is how is that actually executed, right? Because Balatro, it loosely bases itself on poker, right? But obviously there's it's been completely gamified in a lot of ways, unrelated to poker. But it uses poker as a heavy inspiration for a lot of its mechanics, right? So Connect 4, I think the way to make that work would be to kind of loosely theme it on Connect 4, but do a lot of interesting things with the actual grid of pieces, right? I wish I could, so it immediately sounds like a very clever idea to me, but I'm not, and this is just my own problem with my creativity, I'm not really seeing a clear way in which you can make it a really engaging roguelike. But again, that's just me and my lack of creativity. There's a reason I didn't create Balatro, because I wouldn't have been able to see how to make poker into a roguelike either. So my inability to see that is mostly just me saying I can't really give you ideas or advice on how that sounds, other than the headline pitch sounds really intriguing. And so if you have good ideas for how to make that Connect 4 idea work as a roguelike, you should absolutely pursue that, because it sounds awesome. Every tutorial for dialogue tell you to install an add-on, but it just feels wrong and I end up making my own dialogue system from scratch. Yeah, I think I mentioned this in a previous stream. I used to be that way with programming. For the longest time, I didn't use, if I was making a website, I wouldn't use a JavaScript framework, because I was I can just write this all myself. But I think, to put it bluntly, I think you just kind of have to get over that. You should absolutely be using the tools that are ready-made for you to accelerate your development. And you shouldn't feel like you're fake because it's just you're using something that's pre-built. My entire job as a software engineer was basically finding NPM packages to use that could meet our business requirements with minimal effort. And I think that's how we should approach making our games too. I'm not going to sit down and learn how to make music when I could just buy some music from a store or from a contractor or whatever. I'm not going to sit down and record all of my own sound effects when I could just buy a sound effects library and include the sound effects that I want to use, right? And it's just because it's just going to take an absurd amount of time for me to do those things myself. And it should be no different for programming, Use whatever pre-made code and assets are available that solve your problem with minimal effort from you. You're welcome, Black Cat. Yeah, the concept is difficult. I was focusing more on different chips and levels where you would be playing enemies with modified grids and types of chips working with each other. Yeah, see, that's really intriguing. That's really interesting. I think if you can get that to work in a very compelling way, you'd have a hit game on your hands, I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it works out, it could be good. I agree. Yeah, that's right. Nigram Motny. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I get you. I'd simply like to understand how it works and have a total control over a system. I mean, that's fair. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong, obviously, with writing your own system if you feel like you're going to get more benefit out of it that way. But you shouldn't create your own system simply because you feel bad about using add-ons or whatever, you know? There should be some reason why you would prefer your own code over add-on, even if that reason is just, hey, I want to learn how to architect a dialogue system. That's perfectly valid. You know, I do things all the times in my game where I'm like, well, I'm sure I could look up code for how to do this, but I'm gonna implement myself anyway to figure it out, you know? Let's do Blazing Trails again. All right, let's see. Ooh, that's a big DPS increase. Boom. Should I sacrifice? Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice one of the rune slots. Do I want bullets piercing? Let's do bullets piercing. Okay. That actually I get my rune slot back. There we go. Let's get that rune out of there. Okay. Still got both bubble magazines. We're almost to the boss wave. Got my health. No! Oh, I barely dodged that. I was out of stamina. I almost got hit by that blob. Loot Goblin's doing work for me. Nice. Reload both guns on dash. Increase health. Yes, give me that. All right, we got the boss wave coming up. That's a huge DPS increase. Wow. For both guns. I'm going to put that on the right gun, though. Nice. Okay, that's going to be huge. Oh, we got fire now? What do I want to do? Let's remove the bleed and put fire on there. I don't really like that shock grenade. Let's sell those things, okay. 48 gold, let's go. Still gotta fix that. All right, let's go. My imaginary friend is going wild. So I did a little bit of playtesting this morning, and I am killing this boss much faster this run than I was when I playtested this morning. It took me like 5 minutes to kill the boss because my build was so bad. Bam! Get out of here. All right. Berserk. Deal 150% increased damage per 1 missing health. Nice. Thunderstorm, though. I like Thunderstorm a lot, so we'll get that one. Do I want to use a Reforge? No, my guns are pretty powerful. I think I'm just going to go forward. So I want to introduce at least 1 or 2 additional enemies. Now that the dungeon is 20 waves, I think I need 1 or 2 additional enemies to increase the variety. Because right now I've encountered all of the enemy types that are going to appear in this arena, and I still got like 9 waves to go. So I want to add probably 2 new enemy types that can appear after the first boss. I haven't gotten any encounters, really. Increased stamina. Yeah, let's do increased stamina. That's a good one. Wow, these DPS increases are going insane. I have a lot of bleed. Okay. Yeah, I might as well hold on to those. No shame in using pre-made wheels. Nobody disregards games because the dev didn't make their own engine. Yeah. I have like 4 plugins in my game, and I like to use the Bullet Up Hell add-on too, but it was difficult to do what I needed, so I decided to write my own in C++. Nice. Also funny how the idea came to be. I was working on something short-term. I was trying to find ways to draw decisions from the player. Then I realized Connect 4 is literally all decision-making. Nice. Yeah, that's funny. It's weird how certain things will inspire us in certain ways. It's like a pseudo puzzle strategy game, but not at the same time, but it is IDK. Yeah, you'll have to keep me updated on how that goes, because it's that's a very interesting idea. Maybe a specific rat enemy for boss spawn. For the enemy types, you mean? Well, one idea I have is like having a bomb thrower enemy, so he's going to throw a bouncing bomb. I think that would be kind of interesting to dodge. And then another one I had was like, I don't know, like living furniture or something. I think I want to make an enemy type that's like really fast moving and can get up on you really quick, but then has like a very short range attack. Perfect. Ooh, we got a gun scrambler. I'm not going to use it though. We're going to take Blood Brothers for sure. Yeah, Blood Brothers for sure. I've got a lot of runes here. I might as well just sell all these. Not going to use the gun scrambler. Okay, Blood Brothers are much less frequent now, but still frequent enough to be impactful. No! Ah, my loot goblin failed me. He didn't grab the rune in time. Ow. Eee. So right now, what happens is that the when you kill an enemy, the bullets that they shot disappear as well. I think I might remove that. I'm not sure though. Let's do Thunderstorm. That's a DPS increase, just a straight DPS increase there. Ooh, Totem, yes, give me the Totem. So Totem, where do we want to put this? Probably not, yeah, we don't need fire anymore. Let's just put the Totem on there. Maybe Mimic Chest? Oh yeah, that's a cool idea. Mimic Chest. A Mimic Chest that just hops his way toward you very quickly. Wave 14, let's see if I can get to the end here. I'm doing a lot of damage this run. Sweet. Get down, Mr. President, times 3. 3 bodyguards. Let's go. I'm going to be invulnerable. The runes are dropping quite frequently as well. I might need to tone down. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to balance this. There's just so many enemies that get spawned in the later waves that all drops just become more common by the virtue of you're killing more enemies. But the problem with just reducing the absolute drop rate of gold is that you're basically not going to get any gold for the first couple waves because of the low frequency of enemies. So there's a couple ways I could address that. I could increase the amount of enemies spawned earlier. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to fix that, actually. Blood Torrent, Deft Reload. Let's do Deft Reload. Ooh, 5? 5 rune slots, but I lose some DPS. Is that worth? Is that worth? No, I'm not going to do it. Sell all these. Scramble gun? No, I don't want to scramble guns. A gun scrambler too is like, it's only useful really in the early game or if you have a really bad weapon, but it's kind of useless when you have a good build, which I guess is fine. Keep saying I need to remove the elite system. Oops. Couldn't you dynamically increase the price of things based on the enemy count, or you talk about different types of loot alongside gold? Well, it's all kinds of loot. So like health globe drops are more frequent, rune drops are more frequent, gold is more frequent. Yeah, there are solutions specifically for gold, but you know, I still have the same problem with runes. Like my inventory is being filled with runes because of just how many enemies are dying. Oops, I should have put your thing on screen there. The juice you give in your games gives clear identity, which is awesome. Thank you, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Lukey. Could try changing the drop rate over time by sampling a texture curve that increases based on level. Yeah, that is one option. I might have to do something like that. I feel like the optimal way of using Scramble Gun is to move your good gun to the forge and scrambling the gun with the parts from the forge. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I didn't even consider that, but that would be perfectly valid. So I guess I'll just, yeah, no reason to change that. We'll just leave it for the smart players like yourself to take advantage of. Thunderstorm, let's do Thunderstorm again. Grab those runes. Let's just sell all these. I don't need them. Moving on, wave 17, almost to the final boss. I gotta make more bosses too. Oh my gosh, I have so much work to do. I think it's getting there though. Like, the reason I'm playtesting right now is I'm just trying to figure out, okay, like, let's make the game feel good. And then once the game is feeling good and I feel like I've got a good handle on the pacing and everything, then we can definitely add some more content. But yeah, I gotta figure out the drop rate for the gold and whatnot, and the runes and the health globes. I could put it on some kind of like, another hacky way to do it is to put it on some kind of cooldown, like internal cooldown. So instead of triggering for every single enemy, it can only trigger like once every half a second or something. That would give me more control over the amount of drops that are happening, but it also wouldn't be super intuitive for the player. That's the other problem. Let's do Zap here. I'm just raking in the gold. I just made a new weapon today, the Banana Zuka. Nice. I love banana-themed guns. It's very entertaining. All right, wave 18, here we go. Gosh, it's getting crazy. I also have to do a bunch of performance improvements too. I don't know if you can see it that well on the stream, but the game is lagging occasionally. And I don't know where that lag is coming from, so I have to profile the game and figure that out. Hope it's not something too complicated. Blazing Trails. Zap. Let's do Zap again. Sell those. Well, I got my good guns really early, I suppose, because now nothing else is... Now nothing else is dropping. Re-rolling gun parts at table. Add another bug there. I'm not getting like any more DPS increases. It's probably because I just got really lucky, which is fine. You know, roguelites are all about getting that really nice build, that run where it's like super awesome, you know? I should time how long this takes too. In terms of like just doing a run. What is it? It's been about... I mean, I've been taking breaks to talk and everything, but I don't know, it's about 20 minutes maybe? 15, 20 minutes when all is said and done. That seems like an appropriate length for like a roguelike run. Just get in and out pretty quick. Ooh! I haven't taken like any damage this run. I think that's largely because I'm killing things so quickly. This might just be a really good run, so I am going to have to play this multiple times to see how consistently reproducible this is. Because this is easy right now, pretty easy. I'm not taking any damage or anything, but again, if that's just because I got really lucky, then that's a normal part of the roguelike genre, right? Let's beef up my health. I mean, I did kind of get really lucky because I have, what? Oh yeah, I've got 3 bodyguards, so I've basically got 3 points of armor. And that might be why I'm not taking damage, because these guys are protecting me. Yep. So I actually was taking a lot of damage, I just wasn't noticing it because the bodyguards were protecting me. So that's probably entirely why I'm not dying here. There's an extra rune slot just for free there. Oops, I put on the wrong one. Oh, I sold my runes though. Okay. This is going off the screen. That's not good. So I have to fix that as well. All right, here we go. Last wave. Final boss. Probably from particles. No, particles are actually very performant. I think it has to do with C# garbage collection and... C# garbage collection and instancing scenes over and over again. I think some of it might be related to pathfinding as well. So I think I might have to introduce object pooling, probably specifically object pooling for the bullets and some of the effects, I think, like the thunderstorm. I think a lot of the lag that's happening, the lag spikes, are due to C#. Garbage collection. Okay, so I ended with 283 gold. So that was one run. All right. So that's good. let's rebalance the cost of the upgrades based on getting like 200 gold. So if I go to my upgrade tree screen, so this increased stamina regen here. Let's bump this cost up. It's 5 right now, I think. Let's bump this up to 15. Okay, increased dash speed is 50. That sounds reasonable. Increased stamina. This one, let's make it 100. Increased gold drop rate. That one is going to be really good. So let's bump that up to 40. Passive rerolls, 50. Passive reroll 275. That sounds decent to me. Increased health globe drop rate. This one needs to be much more expensive. Let's do 60. And then increased health. This is currently at 100. I'm going to do 200 because that's a huge upgrade. Okay. Start with a free rune. This one is currently very cheap. Although it's fine for that one to be cheap, I think, because it's not that impactful. Increased rune inventory. Let's make this one 40. Increased rune drop rate. We're going to make this one 75. Loot Goblin. This one, we're going to bump this one up to 300. That's going to be an expensive one. Okay. Heart Sacrifice Preservation. Let's just make these all an even 100 here. This increased encounter rate. Let's make that like 75. Okay. I think I updated all of them. So let's go back into the game and let's see how far I can go with the amount of money that I left the dungeon with. Upgrade tree. So let's do stamina regen increase. So that's 15. Increases dash speed by 50%. Let's get the additional gold drop. Increases health globe drop rate. Let's do that one. That's 200. These might even need to be more expensive if I'm routinely... I basically unlocked like a huge portion of the tree with just one run. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit, I think. But I should probably make my changes to the drop rates in general, like I was discussing earlier, before I do anything like that. There's going to be a lot of playtesting. I feel like, you know, if you win, yeah, you should get a lot of gold, but you shouldn't probably be able to unlock like 50% of the passive tree after one win, so I am going to add more passives too, so that's going to be a factor. Balancing is hard. Do you think... Bad make collection of 5 games to learn game design, exploring different ideas? No, I think that's a great way to learn game design. Yeah, try making 5 different games in 5 different genres. That can really help a lot, especially if you focus your efforts a lot on focusing in on what makes a genre fun. You don't necessarily need to remake all the bells and whistles of 5 games, but like focus in on like, okay, what's the core loop or the core mechanic of this game, and then try to build it maybe with your own style. That's a great way to learn. Is there a way to disable garbage collection in Godot? I don't think it's a Godot thing. I think in C# you can take control of the garbage collection yourself. So I'm gonna have to look into that as well. But that's a good thought. I'll have to ask that question myself. Okay, so I'm gonna just commit this, even though I'm probably gonna rebalance this some more. Rebalance. Okay, well, that was a good stream, I think, but I will be ending it there so I can go grab some lunch, as I usually do. But as always, thank you all for watching and joining and interacting. It's a lot of fun always. I'm glad to have you here. Again, for anyone watching live or the VOD, check out the links in the description below to support my work. I've got some Godot courses available for purchase, which will financially support me as well as give you a good learning resource. So check those out if you're interested. Otherwise, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. All of that helps any little bit. Even just liking this video right now will help me a lot. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your weekend. Probably be streaming again tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But otherwise, it was good to see you all again, and I'll see you in the next one. All right.